Before I go on to problem number 5, I need to go in and state the restrictions on the variables for problem number 4, because I forgot to do that before I ended the last video. So restrictions on the variables are just things that x can never be, things that would make the denominator equal to 0. So if you just go through each of the denominators you've seen, basically looking at your LCM, x cannot equal 0 or -3. So we only have 2 restrictions on our variables. Let's look at number 5. What is the difference? So we're subtracting these two. Just like we did before, we want to start by factoring. So if we look at this, the first denominator could be x minus 4 times x plus 2. And the second denominator will factor out of 4. We'll have x minus 2. All right, as I'm looking at that, I don't see any factors in common within that denominator. So that means our LCM is going to be fairly large. That first fraction is going to have to be multiplied by both of the factors from the other denominator, so the 4 and the x minus 2. The second fraction is going to need to be multiplied by both of the factors from the first fraction's denominator. Oops. In order to get the common denominator of 4 times x minus 2 times x minus 4 times x plus 2. So you won't ever be asked to multiply out that entire denominator, but you do need to multiply the pieces of the numerator. So as I look here, I can see first I'm going to have to multiply those two binomials together. So I'm going to have x squared minus x minus 2. And then I'm going to have to distribute a 4. When I distribute the 4 to that trinomial, I'm going to have 4x squared minus 4x minus 8. Then I'm going to look at the second thing. When I take that x and distribute it, I'm going to make sure I take the negative with it. So first let's put it back. We actually already know that's going to be x squared plus 2x minus 8 for the trinomial. And then we're distributing a negative x. So that's going to be minus x cubed minus 2x squared and plus 8. All right, let's clean up that numerator. The numerator is going to have negative x cubed minus 6x squared minus 4x, and the negative 8 and the positive 8 will actually cancel. My denominator is that great big mess that we had before. Now, I'm always suspicious because I see a GCF up there. So let's see if this trinomial can be factored at all. If we take out a negative x, we would have x squared plus 6x plus 4. And 4 doesn't factor all that much. Let's see, can that trinomial be factored? We would need two numbers that multiply to make 4 and add to make 6. Well, 4 can be 4 and 1, which doesn't add up to 6, or 2 and 2, which doesn't add up to 6. It's actually not factorable. So this is the best we can do on our final answer, and we're not required to multiply through that denominator. So all we need to do now is state the restrictions. X is not equal to 2, -2, or 4, because those are the numbers that would make the denominator equal to 0.